very closely related to the theme of our whole event, imparting new generation entrepreneurial skills. The topic that our esteemed panel today is going to discuss is challenges of an agri-entrepreneur. Challenges of an agri-entrepreneur. Alright, so how would you like it? Do you want to go one by one? Or anybody who wants to talk can just put up your hand and you can take the mic and you can speak. What do you prefer? You raise your hands? Excellent. Go ahead. So, okay, who's going to go first? Yes, wonderful. Big round of applause.
The main challenge in agri-entrepreneurship is whatever we invent new thing, it is difficult to reach the farmers. That's the main. So farmers can't get whatever we invent. It's a challenge, I think.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So I think main problem is farmers are mostly accommodated in rural areas, and main problem in rural areas is in recent time internet penetration is being given in rural areas, wherein before internet is a main problem. New innovations mostly which are related to IoT require fast internet, which is not still reaching rural areas. Farmers do not have so much of money. Innovations like IoT require more money, wherein farmers cannot afford it. That is the main problem.
So those of you who have certain points relating to this, please note it down. It could either be complementing what they are saying, meaning supporting what they are saying, or maybe giving some new information which they may not have taken into account when they state the point. Is that clear? For example, point being made, IoT is expensive. So some of you may agree with it, some of you may have a different view on this. Alright, so now jot down your points. We'll get an opportunity for the audience to also contribute to this point. Yes. Yes.
Agriculture is a very large sector where we face a problem to go to each one and deliver our concept or the thing which we want to propose to them. It becomes very difficult to go it by one. So we lack reaching all the farmers present in the area.
The main problem in agri-entrepreneurship is the execution. As India is a vast, diverse land having different challenges, so I think the main problem is the execution. The plan will be very good, the team will be fantastic, the funding will be done, the idea will be unique. The main thing is whether for a supply, for example, you are guaranteeing a 18-hour delivery ship of, for example, Ninja car. So they are delivering in 18 hours within the specific time. That is the execution we need in every agri startups.
I think so the point is planning is there and planning is relatively easier, but when it comes to execution excellence, it is a challenge. Yeah, good.
The major problem that we are facing before execution is when we prepare a plan, we have to go through set of regulations while we receive funding. So it is not reaching to the hands of the farmers. So this is the problem where we are facing. The tedious process to get funding. So this is where we are failing.
Actually, when it comes to what everybody said here is right in a way. But what we have to focus mainly is everyone will get implemented. But then end of the day, convincing Indian farmers is the biggest thing. Because if one farmer is doing something, the other farmer won't like. So do you guys know the story of the Indian crab? So if you put two Indian crabs in a bucket, the other crab won't let the other crab climb up. So that's India. So if the other farmer is doing something progressive, he'll always have something negative to say about that, pulling him down. So other farmers won't be influenced by this farmer, the progressive farmer, to take up something. So that's the problem. Influencing Indian farmers, they may be small, marginal, land, large, farmers, but influencing them, convincing them that this will be good, this is better than the traditional farming that we follow, this is more efficient. So these are the things that we have to focus. Even setting it up is not that hard, but then who is going to come and use it? You should convince people to use your plan. If you don't do that, then it's not in a business.
So according to me, what I feel.
Applaud. Very emphatic points. Very strong in terms of what he believes. I'm at no point of time saying who's right, who's not right, etc. Everybody is entitled to the opinion. But I like the way it was presented. That's the power I'm wanting to see. Yeah? As we present, we should show the conviction. We believe in what we are saying. And we are saying with full confidence. Very, very important. Well done.
According to me, what the biggest problem is lack of confidence in farmers. Because no matter how many technologies or innovations you get in front of them, they get scared to take up that and implement that in their farms. Because they don't know what the results are, but they're frightened about the losses that might incur when they apply that in their farms. As Padma Kumar sir quoted an example yesterday about 10 frogs sitting on a well and thinking about jumping into a well, but they don't jump, they just decide. So here also it is the same way wherein farmers think about it, but they don't get into it. So that is the major problem what Indian farmers or we are facing with them.
I can agree on to her telling that it's difficult for the farmers to understand the language of technology, like adapting it, the new skills and all, especially the older farmers. Sector from 40 to 60, it's difficult for them to understand new concept or how to use a phone or an Android, how to use an app. So that can be a major problem for them, for the new invention of technologies.
Farmers as well as undergraduates or graduates, research scholars, they are facing a major problem in the aspect of not getting a platform, not getting a proper platform for building entrepreneurship skills. This is one of the major concepts what we are lacking today. If we get platforms like today we have gathered here, half of the people, I'm calculating, half of the people here, even if they don't have any idea, just imagine even if they are not having an idea, they'll build up skills to generate the idea, and they'll probably end up in some enterprise sooner or later. So this is the thing we should build up. We should build up platforms to educate them, to provide them with certain set of skills. Okay.
Some farmers are really orthodox. They want to follow the same age-old customs, and there are some financial problems.
The next main constraint in this sector is that making to accept that new technology to each and individual farmer. A farmer who is practicing traditional techniques from ages, from his grandfather, from his great grandfather, he will not implement a new technology. He will go, come take this technology, this will do this, that, now. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡಿ ನನಗೆ ಬೇಡ ಆ ಥರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಮೀನ್ಸ್ he will tell like that. So that's it.
ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮೇಜರ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಆಗಿ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಇವರು ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿನ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡೋರು ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲು ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ರೀಚ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಧ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾನೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಆ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Yeah, of course, farmers have lack of confidence. Like how means, even though I am belonging to farmer background, whatever I saw, like whatever that Sangapa sir said, if I said my father to that instrument, they are not ready to include that in our farming system. They lack of confidence. They think whatever before they are going to adopt something new, they have lack of confidence. So we have to build confidence in the process. That's it.
Lack of confidence is due to lack of money. Most of the farmers do not have money for basic, for example, seeds. They take loans even to buy seeds. So buying a huge innovation is a task for them. That is why I think there is lack of confidence.
And farmers are very stubborn. Like they will be not willing or ready to accept the new thing you propose, because like if anything new is shown to all you guys, first you wait, like let first one try, give a try, then let us learn from that or inculcate that. Like it is very difficult to influence them or manipulate them to use our product and have an like a result from that.
Even the government schemes should be implemented and used properly.
Anybody here, if they know some basics about psychology, they'll be knowing that farmers, the small scale industrialists, they are very easy to manipulate. They are very easy to be convinced. So if we put a right example of different sectors which they're going to get flourished ahead, if you put a right example in front of them, they'll get manipulated, or else, to put it in a better way, they'll get convinced. They'll get convinced and try to take that venture, try to participate into entrepreneurship programs, and they'll try to build an enterprise. So putting in the brains proper examples, putting in the brains proper examples is necessary thing.
Suppose we will start a new startup and we are going good. So there will comes a point what to do next. There the failure started increasing and the startup shuts. That's the 99% rates. So the institutes, they are unaware, or they don't know, or there are some lack in these things, that the institutes like this NAHEP-IDP program, we also don't know about this. We also got to know while coming in. So we have to improvise. These institutes should implement more, and they should get contact with these institutes. So lack of this institute, like this faculty, to guide them as the proper guidance, to make them a perfect what we call a unicorn, perfect agri startup unicorn. 107 unicorns are there, but in that agri startup are very less. Why less? Lack of proper guidance.
And one more thing is, we have a very good startup ecosystem in India, but the individual or the youth is not ready to take up entrepreneurship. They lack motivation. This is the major problem that we are facing.
So, like starting off where I left off last time. So, okay, fine, you set up your company, and then, okay, you're going to farmers saying that, okay, this is the produce, this is the service that I'm going to provide for you guys. Then, the way you're providing that, the strategy that you use to provide that, if that is not working, then that also will make your business fail. That is one of the main challenges. So, let's say there's a company, it's a processing company, and they need raw material. Sourcing of raw material for a processing company is one of the hardest things to do. Okay, you will take up contract farming. Contract farming, there will be a legal binding document saying that, okay, fine, this much yield, these many years you have to give it me. I'll provide you all the inputs, planting material, propagation material. You have to grow it based on these qualities. The second there's a dip in the price, the processing company will give it to me, give me all the water you can buy the entire village out. The second there's a hike in the price, the farmer will be like, oh, what contract? He'll probably burn it. Use it as firewood. Doesn't matter to him. He wants more money. End of the day, Indian farmers, they, not to say they're poor, they're intelligent, but they don't have money. Okay? So, they want to make a quick buck. Processing industries, any industries, majority now. They don't focus on, like, very few cases say that we want India as an agriculture, it's an agricultural powerhouse, India. No other country in the world has different regions in which you can grow different crops. We can grow arid, semi-arid, temperate, subtropical, everything we can grow. Go to England, they have nothing. It's a wasteland. But they will say they are going to do protective cultivation. They will grow that. We'll end up the quality. So if you grow orchids, so orchids is a very beneficial flower to grow. Netherlands, it's not good soil quality, nothing. The kind of technology that they have used to grow their produce, that is one of the main things. So to end off, the farmer should be willing. Okay, so there's one age-old saying, you can take the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. Only if the farmer is willing, then he will be able to do more.
And on that note, You can only take the horse to the water, you can't make it drink. Who is the horse here? Is the farmer the horse? Or are we the entrepreneurs the horse? Is it that, oh, they are not buying, oh, they are poor, oh, they don't have psychology, oh, they are pulling each other down? Are we looking for ways by which we can justify the fact that we are not able to realize our potential as a team of people who are privileged to be 1% of the entire, this sector? Who else has this kind of opportunities in terms of getting into a training program like this, having an opportunity to discuss? So the whole thing hinges, I'm purposely using this word, it hinges on what positive appreciation can we bring to the team. What is it that we, as people who have been given this education, given this opportunity, what do we want to do? Entrepreneurship is something which is difficult, isn't it? It's not just by agri sector. You go and ask any other entrepreneur, they will say it's a tough road. But then, tough people are required. People who can really take up that challenge and say, I know that there are challenges. I know that we have to work really hard. I know that there will be roadblocks, there will be obstacles, but here is what I am planning to do. Here is what I want to do. Here is what I will do. Right? So step by step, if we are looking at various issues that came up, I do appreciate the fact that issues exist. There is no question about that. However, as educated students, what are we going to do? How are we going to make sure that we are not going to use all of these as excuses for not doing what we do? How can we change what needs to be changed? Be the change that you want to see in the world, isn't it? Our own father of the nation told us, at the time when he was thrown out of a train in South Africa, when he was a barrister earning a fair amount of money, when he recognized that there was a great deal of discrimination, and then when he understood that in India, the amount of discrimination, the amount of injustice that's happening is many times what's happening out there, he came here, and at that time, how many people supported that view? How many people endorsed that view? It had a certain kind of a character to come and say that I will do what needs to get done. There may be an entire ecosystem which is not yet ready. There may be a whole lot of things that are, and imagine a frail man against an empire, isn't it? We all know that first they ignored him, rather first they ridiculed him, then they ignored him, then he fought and he won. End of the day, they had to get. These are role models for us. These are examples for us. It doesn't matter whether it is agri-related or non-agri-related. We saw a lot of examples. Yeah. So I want us to now shift to a positive frame of mind and talk about what is it that we can individually do as people who are in that 1% of the sector, and how is it that we can use collaboration across the multiple campuses that we have here. How is it that the brilliant minds that are represented here are going to make sure that some of the issues that exist can be resolved either through an example that you can relate or by offering to do some level of collaboration. What is it that we can jointly do? It's a team of about 100 people. It's not a small number, right? And no problem can really be so challenging for a set of 100 billion minds. Yeah? So what are some of the things that we can do? Having got this new generation skills, having understood what entrepreneurship is all about, what are some of the things that we can do? Any questions from the audience? Any? Yes.
They said about they lack the confidence in the farmers. But my question is how we can fill the confidence in the people of farmers and how we can make them to believe to use the new technology. It's my question.
So I'd like to answer that question. So,
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Sorry, I'm coming to you.
So most of them blame the farmers for not accepting the new technology. Before that, they should think whether their innovation is technically and economically feasible. That's the matter. Not making farmers maybe like 1 or 2%. Like if you give your innovation the best, all farmers will accept according to me. Thank you.
As my friends told, that convincing farmers is very difficult. Instead of doing that, like I'll give you an example. What happened in my farm? 3 people came from 3 different companies. Those 3 people, one guy asked, like, give your farm to the lease. Like, we are growing sugarcane. They told, give this much acres of land. We will grow more sugarcane and we will give more income. In that, 2 people, like, they were not confident in their company, sir. In that, one guy was like, he came friend and told that give this much money to our company and we will give this much nutrients to you people and we will stand in front of the workers and we will make them to work. Like that much confidence we need to have. Like we entrepreneurs should have that much confidence to convince the farmers. I think like that kind of attitude we need to develop, so-called entrepreneurs.
Can make a difference and how we can share certain examples that will give us the confidence. We are embarking on a long journey. We are all, let's say, in 20s, right? Early 20s. There is a long life ahead of us and we have consciously chosen this sector. Now, you may be enticed with certain high-paying jobs in some input companies, seeds companies, and once you get into the corporate system, there is very little that we can do which is close to our heart. Isn't that true? Yeah. Corporate interests are always, though it may appear to be okay, there is always a profit motive in most corporates. By and large, they have to answer their stakeholders, and end of the day, they are not so much concerned in terms of the impact that they are making as compared to what is it that they are able to get out of it. So in spite of huge amount of pumping in of resources, huge amount of pumping in of money and support from various sources including central and state governments, we still find that this sector is really suffering. A big part of that is probably the mismanagement. Yeah, we are not being able to manage the resources appropriately to be able to ensure that the intended beneficiaries of these schemes do get the benefits. And we are relatively better off because we understand what schemes exist, how do these farmers, how they can avail the benefits that are coming in. Rather than saying, okay, buy my product, buy my service. You farmer, why are you not buying my service? The point that needs to be seen is how we be friendly to the farmer in terms of giving what the farmer needs, not necessarily my product or service. Am I in a position where I understand truly what the farmer actually wants or needs and find ways and means to satisfy that need, whether it is fitted by my product or not? That's the first part, right? So are we keeping the interests of the farmer in mind, and are we gaining the confidence of the farmer? Because once we gain the confidence of the farmer, then we can advise them on various other aspects. I'll tell you an example of a person for about 20 years after he completed his agricultural education. For about 20 years he worked in this sector. And his primary thing was, I just want to go and help the people. Luckily he was well off, like most of us are, not struggling for the next meal, not that kind of a person. He had what it takes to survive from this. But during this period, the amount of good that he did in the various communities that he worked in gave him tremendous goodwill among the farmers. And after that, he became a person, a go-to person as far as the farmers were concerned. He was able to attract the attention of the farmers and gain the confidence of the farmers. Now once we gain the confidence of the farmers, after that we can use what we can bring to the table in terms of solutions, the products, services, and what have you. And we will see that there is adoption of this. Because by then the confidence of the community is built. We start without even making that initial outreach attempt. We just go to the village and say, here's my fantastic product, or here's my fantastic service, and these are the benefits, these are the features, in a fancy presentation. It's not going to win the confidence of the farmer, right? Why? Because for ages, they've been taken for the ride. Yeah? So many of them have been taken for the ride. We know the situation where several states had the problem in terms of pharmaceuticals. And progressively, they have completely lost control in terms of everything that matters. Whether it's their own land, whether it is the seed that they sow, whether it is the kind of crop protection that they need. On every single front, they have been taken advantage of. What do you expect? That they do not trust anybody who comes and tries flashy things. Isn't that natural? Wouldn't we do that? Yeah? So, first and foremost, it is winning the confidence of the people that we are going to be with. Yeah? Work among them and make sure that they are able to really understand that we have their interests in mind. Then it becomes easier for us to come up with solutions. And then again, we're not going to focus just on our product, our solution. We're going to focus on their need. If it turns out that our product matches, fair enough. But can we be solution providers agnostic to our own product or solution that we want to sell? Yeah? Any?
Sir, to contrast the problems, we already have solutions. We already have many solutions to start from finance to advertise. There are many solutions. But in order to gain the confidence and in order to make people get into this stream, we should try to gather all those resources and put it in one frame. We should put it in a place, organize and put it in a place, just like a few websites, just like Startup India and various others. They are doing the thing to bring up all the resources which an entrepreneur requires. They're putting it in one place, and that is motivating a farmer and whatever it may be, whoever the person may be, it is motivating them. So, just to quote an example, my own roommate, I don't want to mention his name, I was calling him to this program. He is a great thinker, he had ideas, but the thing which lacked in him was motivation. He was demotivated because of finance. He said, we'll be thinking ideas daily. Even if we don't note it somewhere, we'll be thinking daily, those ideas come, those ideas go. But even if we have a feasible idea, who is there to give us finance? Even though there are many fintech corps, nobody will be having the idea of finance. Like the quote you say always, other people's money, OPM. People will think it as real opium. You know what I mean? People will be thinking that it is opium. No, who will be allowing us to use this? Who will be allowing us to use their own money, the money which they have earned with their dedication? Who will be allowing us to use that money for our cause? That is a myth. That is a big myth today. And just because it hasn't advertised yet, people will be seeing fintech, FINTECS. What is that? It will be a new word for almost half of the population sitting here. So my opinion is we should try to show the solutions. We have solutions. We already have many solutions which can fill up the pockets deep. So we should gather all those solutions. We should put it in one place, and we should show the people who are willing to do it. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So that story that I told you about the person who went and worked the fields, he came up with app-based solution, which essentially helps a farmer to take a photograph of a crop that is in distress. Okay, so let's say that he has a certain crop that he believes needs some attention. So he could take a photograph of the top part of the leaf, top bottom part of the leaf, the stem, the root, and things like that. And instantaneously, the pictures would be sent either to an identified panel of people who were equipped to advise the farmer on what needs to be done, or would be posted in a common forum where there were several others, experts who were part of that particular the forum where they could provide the advice. So effectively cut down the time that it takes for a farmer to get reliable advice. More importantly, he also innovated. He said, in addition to these photographs, there is a voice annotation that you can attach to the photograph. Farmer, in his own words, will talk about what kind of issue he is facing with respect to this crop. For example, there is already a time stamping on when it was taken, when the photograph was taken. There is a GPS, therefore there is a location identification. All of that information is already there. And the photographs clearly show what is the problem that the plant is having. In addition to that, the farmer's spoken annotation in his own language, whichever region he is in, his own language, when he annotates, that is attached to the photograph, sent as one unit. And he innovated in terms of making sure that it gets compressed to a small size when it is sent across, and at the receiving end, it gets back to its original kind of resolution. So these are small things that you can really look at as a combination of solving the problem and continuously innovating, and making sure that you're really, providing a valuable service to people who need the kind of attention. Yeah. Clap for that one. For that answer, we did that. Any other thoughts, examples?
What I feel is, than motivating the farmers, I think we should get motivated ourselves first. Because we, as agricultural graduates, maybe out of 700 students graduate out of this college every year. But out of those 700 graduates, how many of them continue only in this agricultural field? Not even maybe nearly 10% of them. Because the only reason they choose this field is for the government jobs, only for the pay and not for the service. So we have to change this mindset of ours. So we have to give them service and we have to get motivated for ourselves. And then we have to help the farmers. This is what I think.
And this happens in most of, I know people who go to IIM Ahmedabad to do an MBA and then join Axis Bank and do shares trading. Okay. So this is something that maybe it happens a lot more in the agri sector. I'm fully with you on that point. But there will always be a few people who see better possibilities elsewhere. We are talking about those people who stay committed. We are talking about those people who want to continue to make a difference in the sector. The reason why they've taken this is not because of pressure from anybody, not because they could not go to Bits Pilani, but because they wanted to come to an agricultural university. And they feel really motivated looking at the kind of work. One of the reasons why a lot of stalwarts have been brought by Yuvraj on the stage to talk about this is to show you shining examples of people who have made this their life.